Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be presenting a seminar on artificial intelligence in pathology. I'll be dealing under the following headings, that is history, introduction, machine learning, deep learning, application in pathology, advantages, challenges and summary. First, coming to the history. In 1950, a British mathematician and computer scientist came with an idea, can machines think? And in 1956, John McCarthy, an American scientist, introduced the terms artificial intelligence. In 1965, Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT built ELIZA, a computer program for the study of natural language communication between man and a machine. In 1977, Edward developed a clinical consultation system, Mycin, could analyze infectious symptoms to derive causal bacteria and drug treatment recommendation. In 1992, David developed Pathfinder, a probabilistic reasoning expert system in the field of hematopathology to assist pathologists to deal with uncertain knowledge. In 2003, Baker et al. Commercial CAD system, computer aided detection, in detecting architectural distortion of breast mammography, which has sensitivity of 49%. In 2016, Anger-Muller et al. Used deep learning methods in genomic and biological problems such as molecular trait prediction, mutation effect prediction, and cellular image analysis. Now coming to introduction. Artificial means human-made, and intelligence, that is wisdom or capacity to learn and solve a problem. As in other domains, artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly important in medicine. In particular, deep learning based pattern recognition methods can advance the field of pathology by incorporating clinical, radiologic and genomic data to accurately diagnose disease and predict patient's prognosis. Artificial intelligence denotes the intelligence presented by some artificial entities, including computers and robots. What is machine learning? It is a type of artificial intelligence that provides computers with ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Focuses on the development of computer programs that can access data and use it to learn for themselves. Why do we need machine learning? Because we cannot program everything and some tasks are difficult to define algorithmically. Coming to the types of machine learning, there are two types, supervised and unsupervised. In machine learning, situations are called input, solutions are called target or output. What is supervised learning? For every input, there is a corresponding output. Here made algorithms are used and it can't think and take decisions. What is unsupervised learning? Training machines for learning tasks only with a set of inputs. If any situation arises, able to find the structures, patterns and relationships between different inputs. Algorithm is made for the situation to reach the target with maximum accuracy, and it can think and take decisions. What is deep learning? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning in artificial intelligence that has networks capable of learning unsupervised data, that is unstructured or unlabeled. It is also known as deep neural learning or deep neural network. A neural network is a series of algorithms that endeavors to recognize underlying relationships in a set of data through a process that mimics the way the human brain operates. In this sense, neural networks refer to system of neurons, either organic or artificial in nature. Network. A complex system may be broken down into simpler elements in order to understand it better. Also, simple elements may be gathered to produce a complex system. Networks are one approach for achieving this. Large number of different types of networks characterized by a set of nodes and connection between the nodes. Here we are showing a network. Here we can see node 1 and node 2, and there is a connection in between the two nodes. Nodes can be seen as computational units, receive inputs and process them to obtain an output. Processes might be very simple or quite complex. Connections determine the information flow between the nodes. They can be unidirectional or bidirectional. Interaction of nodes, though the connection lead to a global behavior of the network which cannot be observed in the elements of the network, that is emergent. This means that ability of network supersede one of its elements, making network a very powerful tool. Now, what is the definition of artificial neural network? It is non-linear computational mathematical model for information processing with architectures inspired by neuronal organizational biology. Artificial neural network, a computational model inspired by natural neurons. Natural neurons receive signals through synapses located on dendrites or membrane of the neuron. When the signals received are strong enough, that is, it surpasses a certain threshold, the neuron is activated and emits a signal through the axon. Complexity of a real neuron is highly abstracted when modeling artificial neuron. Basically, it consists of inputs like synapses, weights, that is strength of the respective signals, computation by a mathematical function which determines the activation, another function which may be identity computes the output. This is a flow chart representing artificial neural networks. Here we could see the input and then strength of respective signals, that is weight, the computation of mathematical function which determines the activation, and then the output is generated. Here it is a diagrammatic representation of human neuron and an artificial neural network. This is a comparison. A neural body is represented in artificial neural network as a circle and is called a node. The synapses are represented as lines connecting the nodes and are called weights. The higher a weight of an artificial neuron is, the stronger the input which is multiplied by it will be. Weights can also be negative, so we can say that the signal is inhibited by the negative weight. Depending upon the weights, the computation of the neuron will change. By adjusting the weights of artificial neural network, we can obtain the output we want for specific inputs. Now, how do we adjust the weights? We can find algorithms which can adjust the weights of artificial neural networks in order to obtain the desired output from the network. This process of adjusting the weight is called learning or training. Three non-overlapping sets of data must be used. It is training set, testing set, and a verification set. Training set is adjustment of weights during training. Testing set to decide when to stop training and to avoid overtraining. And verification set to report the performance of artificial neural network. In this hypothetical example, the goal is to diagnose conditions related to the abdominal pain. Here the inputs are the gender, age, temperature, WBC count, pain intensity and pain duration. Weights are adjusted. Accordingly, the diagnosis of appendicitis, diverticulitis, perforated duodenal ulcer, non-specific pain, cholecystitis, small bowel obstruction and pancreatitis can be made. Here it is another example of diagnosis of a prostate cancer. Here we could see input layer which has age, direct rectal examination findings, prostate specific antigen level and free prostate specific antigen level, and then there is a hidden layer where the weights, here depending upon the number of weight, artificial neural network is adjusted and then the probability of cancer on biopsy can be known. And in the second model, artificial neural network has more number of inputs, that is age, direct rectal examination findings, prostate specific antigen, free prostate specific antigen, and transrectal ultrasonography findings and volume. Hence, it can help us to give a better probability of cancer on biopsy. Now, why do we need artificial intelligence in pathology? Because an acute shortage of pathologists in many countries, which eventually increases the workload. And this increased cancer screening programs, resulting in increased workloads and increasing complexity of pathology tests, driving up the time taken per case. Now, digital pathology, which is an important part of artificial intelligence in pathology. Here the H&E slides or IHC slides are taken, and then slide scanner is there, which will do the whole slide imaging, and then multiple images in the form of patches which are labeled or unlabeled, and then data is stored in the database. This is a microscope which is used in digital pathology. Eyepiece is labeled as number 1, which is represented the view seen by the user. Part of the microscope labeled as number 2, which is representing camera capture of the current field of view. Part of the microscope represented by number 3 gives the augmented reality display. Part of the microscope represented by number 4 gives output of the accelerated computing unit. Then the artificial intelligence algorithm is made. Now let's see what are the applications of artificial intelligence in pathology. Main uses of artificial intelligence in pathology have been as a statistical classifiers of data generated by other analytical methods. There are few studies where digitalized images have been used as input data for neural networks, that is upcoming field. Now, what is the application in clinical pathology? Autoanalyzers like CellAvision DM96 system used in analysis of hematology slide and detect abnormalities utilize artificial neural networks. IQ200 is an automated urine microscopy analyzer that works on the principle of artificial neural networks. Application in pathology. Histological and cytological images are very much complex. Construction of formal rules instructing a machine to recognize and correctly interpret a pattern. Artificial neural networks learns complex association directly from examples without having to know why or how such an example came to be. Computer programs are commercially available that have been designed to accept variables such as pathologist impression of nuclear size and architectural distortion, and to incorporate them in a systematic way to arrive at a diagnosis with defined degree of confidence. These systems can be adopted to use in different fields of diagnostic pathology. Histological features for entry can vary depending on number of factors. For each of the feature, a variety of possible grades must be first defined. This can be very flexible, a mixture of 0 to +3, percentage involvement, cell counts, etc. can be used for different variables. Artificial intelligence have been used in the histological diagnosis of different types of lesions. Breast carcinoma, including intraductal form, classification, diagnosis, survival prediction, histological grading of astrocytomas, parathyroid lesions, hepatocellular carcinoma, prostatic cancer staging, analysis of ribosomal RNA and DNA. Application of outcome of cancer, that is colonic carcinoma, prostatic carcinoma, laryngeal carcinoma, have been proved superior to the conventional statistical method in predicting outcome. Now coming to application in cytology, two main areas of cytopathology that have been investigated by using artificial neural networks are screening of cervical smears and breast cytodiagnosis. Cervical cytology, PapNet, a commercially available system which utilizes artificial neural network. Conventional Pap stain smears can be screened. No special processing of a sample is required. PapNet system consists of two parts, scanning station and a review station. Automated microscope system that is electronically programmed to scan the smear and capture cell images for computer processing. Here the scanning station identifies potentially abnormal cells found either individually or in clusters. Artificial neural networks are trained to identify the cellular abnormalities irrespective of cell overlapping, shape, or staining. The total of 128 image tiles are stored on a digital tape or CD-ROM for final inspection by the scanner. Now the review station, that is a strain screener, views the images on high resolution colored video monitor and decides whether a slide is negative for abnormal cells or need further manual review. Slides selected for a review are examined manually under a microscope. Confirmation of final diagnosis of a smear is wholly dependent on human interpretation, that is cytologist. Studies have shown that PapNet has helped to detect an increased number of false negatives in comparison to manual screening. Application in breast cytodiagnosis. A study done by Rishikesh et al. In 2017 at IIT Kharagpur for diagnosis of breast cancer. Here the data is 37 breast samples are taken and 175 images of breast FNAC seen. Here the task is to diagnose if it is benign or malignant. The model used here is deep learning GPU training system, that is DIGITS. Performance, image based decision with accuracy of 89.7%. Now lymph node metastasis in case of breast cancer. Study was done by Lee et al. At 2018 in California. Data is 160 normal and 110 metastasis lymph node whole slide images for training 81 normal and 49 METS lymph node whole slide images. Performance is patch level decision with accuracy of 93.8%. Here we could see a neural conditional random field model. In this model, there are two major components, that is CNN and CRF. CNN is convolutional neural network and CRF is conditional random field. In convolutional neural network acts as a feature extractor that takes a grid of patches as input, encodes each patch as a fixed length vector representation, that is embedding, and then CRF, that is conditional random fields, takes the grid of embedding as input, models their spatial correlation. Other application in cytology, Vrisemma et al. Have shown that artificial neural networks can accurately diagnose the malignancy in bladder washings. Karakiskos et al. Have shown that artificial neural networks can give correct classification in 96% of the benign cells and 89% of the malignant cells in stomach breast cytology. Artificial neural networks have also been applied in cytodiagnosis of pleural and peritoneal effusions, oral epithelial lesions, and thyroid lesions. Intraoperative margin detection of breast lump. Study was done by Rannan Kricke et al. In 2018. Data here used is 4,921 frozen section frames were studied. Task is to diagnose benign and malignant cancer. Performance path level decision accuracy is 94.96%. Here we could see optical coherence tomography with deep neural networks. Tumor tissue is represented by black area, and in second image the adipose tissue is represented by grayish area. Now mitotic detection in breast cancer. The study was done by Circus and et al. In 2013. Data is mitose, that is 300 mitoses in 50 images. Task is mitosis detection and performance is detection F1 score, that is 0.782. Here in the top left we could top left correspond to one of the 50 high power fields represented in the data set. Top right area represents the details of the three areas. Detected mitosis are circled green, that are true positives, and red, which are false positives. Cyan denotes the mitosis not detected by this approach. The challenging appearance of mitotic nuclei and other very similar non-mitotic structures can be noted. Bottom row represents the overview of this detection approach. Application in renal transplant. Rapid and accurate diagnosis of exclusion of episodes of acute rejection is of vital importance in the proper management of renal transplant patients. Biopsy is the gold standard of diagnosis of acute rejections in most centers. However, if biopsy is done early in the rejection process, there can be considerable difficulty in accurate diagnosis. BAF classification has been developed to standardize the interpretation of renal allograft biopsies. Use of this classification has resulted in improved reproducibility of diagnosis, but not significantly the accuracy. BAF system uses only two features for diagnosis of rejection. These are tubulitis and intimate arteritis. It has been observed that if more features are included in evaluation of biopsies, the accuracy of diagnosis rejection is increased. It is unrealistic to expect the human brain to correlate the data in a consistent manner. Kazi et al. Attempted to improve the accuracy of diagnosis of early acute renal allograft rejection using artificial intelligence. Systematic approach increased the sensitivity of detection of early acute rejection, that is 90 out of 21, more than any of the 37 pathologists achieved by conventional histological interpretation, that is 17 out of 21. Usefulness of inclusion of additional minor features of acute rejection such as interstitial edema, eosinophils helps in improving the accuracy of diagnosis in these early biopsies. There can also be inter-observer variation and inter-institutional variation. Most of these problems might be overcome by using a more sophisticated neural network, one which continues to learn and adopt itself to changing characteristic of institution and the pathologist, and could also provide a dynamic measurement of features that prove to be of the most value in assessment of biopsies. Now, application in lung cancer. Study was done by Teramoto et al. In 2017. Here data is FNAC cytology and 298 images studies. The task is the classification into adenosquamous and small cell carcinoma. Augmentation is done by rotation, flip and inverting. Overall classification accuracy is 71.1%. Now the classification of lung cancer from cytological images is done. Classification accuracy was increased in both adenocarcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma from 73.2 to 89% in adenocarcinoma and 44.8 to 60 in squamous cell carcinoma. It is slightly decreased in small cell carcinoma from 78.8 to 70.3. So in total, after augmentation by artificial intelligence, the classification accuracy increased from 62.1% to 71.1%. Application in prostate cancer. Currently, the detection of tumor patterns, Gleason's grading and combination of prominent grades into a Gleason score critical in determining the clinical outcomes of prostate cancer. More recently, research team have proposed the use of artificial intelligence technology for automated analysis of prostate cancer. Letchins et al. Convolutional autoencoder for tumor detection in H&E stain biopsy specimen. Bulton et al. Developed algorithm for automated segmentation of epithelial tissue in prostatectomy slides using convolutional neural networks. Nagpal et al. Presented deep learning system for Gleason grading in whole slide imaging technology That quantity is the tumor morphology, that is opportunity for refinement of Gleason system itself. Application in breast cancer. Study was done by Ortoson et al. In 2015. Task is to differentiate glioblastoma multiforme versus low-grade glioma. Further grading of low-grade glioma into grade 2 or grade 3. Performance is glioblastoma multiforme and low-grade glioma decision accuracy is 96%. Low-grade glioma grade decision accuracy is 71%. Now let's see the application in ovarian cancer. Automatic classification of ovarian cancer types from cytological images using convolutional neural networks. Study was done by Wu et al. In 2018. Data is 7,392 images were studied and classification of ovarian tumors was done. Overall classification accuracy was 78.2%. Now, application in the diagnosis of sickle cell anemia. Study was done by Zhu et al. In 2017. Data is red blood cell, that is 7,206 patches were studied, and the classification of RBCs in sickle cells was done. Cell level classification accuracy was 87.5%. Now the application in microbiology. Study using 3000 images from ZN stained tissues were captured. 1000 were used to train the algorithm and 2000 were used to test it. Algorithm successfully ranked AFV containing images as the highest in the datasets, despite only single bacilli being present in sparse images, that is occupying 0.0024% of the image, and despite having tissue and staining artifacts. These are the companies working for artificial intelligence in pathology. These are Procia, Page, Path AI, Google AI, Indica Labs and Bosch. Now let's see what are the advantages of artificial intelligence in pathology. It helps in quantification of data, bringing every pathological investigation at one platform, a step towards individualized management of patients, recognizing new parameters and predicting survival rates, recognizing mutations, it's time saving, automation is done, and making data science accessible to pathologists. What are the obstacles in using artificial intelligence in pathology? Reluctance to change to new, qualitatively different way of thinking, building appropriate database, and difficulty in establishing good multidisciplinary team that includes pathologists, database experts, and experts in statistics, neural network, and computational methodology. Now coming to summary. Ability to learn by example make artificial intelligence in pathology very flexible and powerful tool. It is necessary to understand the potentials and limitations of it. It has wide application in medicine, including all aspects of pathology. It may not replace conventional manual techniques but completely but complement them and provide alternatives. Now the take home message is artificial intelligence will not replace pathologist, but in future the pathologist without training in artificial intelligence will replace the pathologist with but in future the pathologist with training in artificial intelligence will replace the pathologist without training in artificial intelligence. These are my references. Thank you.